let's try that. I want to load this test because we know it's new. Alrighty. And I'll just leave the rest of them alone because only the surface units matter. Alright, so I'm probably going to speed all of that up, but hello, Internet. My name is Max7238, and today we are looking at a game, if you couldn't tell by the title, called Carrier Command. I don't usually make videos like this anymore, and it's been a long time since I've done anything of this particular sort. But there have been a couple of conversations going on in the Carrier Command 2, or more specifically the Microprose, the publisher's Discord, because GeoMeta doesn't have a Discord, so there isn't an official one for this game. But there's been a couple of conversations, and there's been some stuff passed back and forth where, you know, a couple people have some misconceptions about some capabilities for different platforms, that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this first preliminary video to sort of settle some of the discussions, because maybe some things have changed, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they're right, or is it me, or do the waves seem bigger? I'm running a mod right now. I'm testing a mod at the same time, and it definitely seems like the waves are even bigger somehow. I'm also a little tempted to like mod in some money and like make some needlefish, but I'm currently running on my standard custom game settings, which means that every island other than the warehouses should be 2-shield, and even my warehouse island is 2-shield for some reason, it looks like. I don't know why mine is and theirs isn't. That's a bit odd. But yeah, so everything is at least 2-shield or higher, and we have maximum number of AI teams. I don't usually run PvP, so not really going to bother too much with that. I am curious to try someone's suggestion about leaving behind a radar seal on an island. Um, I do think that with proper usage, that would probably be really good. I'm also kind of an idiot because I forgot to do this off camera. Um, I'm not going to do too much of this actually. I'm just going to grab some of the essentials. I've also turned off the UI mod since apparently that is going to affect the conversation. It shouldn't do anything with regards to what we'll be testing today, but just to make sure that we don't run into that problem, right? Just to make sure that I am 100% positive that this is actually going to do what I think it's going to do, and we have no outside interference. There. The rest of it can wait. Oh, right. I'm a bit strange when it comes to how I handle things. I'm very methodical about some of this stuff, so you're going to see me probably do a couple of strange things. Like, I will use this screen specifically for mapping and whatnot, and this screen specifically for stock. Um, as you saw in the beginning, I have exact setups for the way that I use my screens up here on the helm, so on and so forth. Just like, I guess for credibility's sake, I am missing a few of the medals. That would be because I need more manual surface kills, more manual naval vessel kills, and I forget what this last one is. It's not Maelstrom. I'm pretty sure I have. Yeah, there's Maelstrom right there. I don't remember what this one is. But I've got all the air units downed and 1,000 orders and captured a ton of islands and everything else. So, now we should be coming up on this other island here soon. It definitely seems like this mod has affected ocean depth. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Ah, there they are. Okay. So we want to stay inside the current shadow, and we always want to keep our carrier's right side towards the island for landing of fixed-wing craft, because fixed-wing craft are very stupid and very finicky, and they will absolutely crash into cliffs and trees and buildings and anything that happens to get in their way while they're in the holding pattern. And they will also just fly straight over a 3-shield island or 4-shield island full of Sea Whiz and get shot down while they're in the holding pattern if your left side is facing the island. They cross the carrier much more closely on the right, so it's a lot safer to keep things right facing. Now, right away, we're going to settle the first debate, which is, does carrier radar detect enemy ground units? And as you can see, we are well inside 10,000 kilometers for the entire island, and we have no detections yet. Now, we can detect the command post, so we know where the target is, but there are no red blips on the map here. There should also be no red blips on the map here. And once again, we see that. So, that particular part of the debate is settled. Carrier radar does not detect ground units, which there are absolutely ground units on these islands. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pull up alongside the island here, as I'm doing, and we are going to launch a Manta as a scout while we're in calm water. Because I don't feel like losing assets, even though, wow. Even though I don't actually intend on committing to this particular save. The ocean is washing over that. This is definitely strange. I'm glad I'm testing this mod. So far, I like it. Like, I'm not saying that I dislike this. I think that's actually pretty cool. But it's very sharp. All of this is very sharp, which doesn't bode well, as you can see up there, for our depth radar for the carrier. We're going to hang out here. Turn on weapons. And we are going to launch a Manta. And just for demonstrative purposes, there is the Manta. It has the AWACS. And we are going to send it, and we'll make this thing our scout, just so that we've got some footage of this functioning. So we'll do that. And in the meantime, if you're wondering why I'm using the middle screen, it's because I'm used to my captain using this screen. Again, I have some strange habits. But let's see. So we're not going to launch the ground artillery because we want our units to actually go out there and engage. And we're fairly close, but we're going to launch the Walrus first. And we want Walrus, I guess, over here. That'll be out the rear of the carrier anyway. So we want the Walrus to go first, and then we'll send in the 2 battle cannon bears that I have, because they're less likely to waste their ammunition shooting at the wall. And yes, I am absolutely going to launch them before they're fully healed, because I don't have that kind of patience right now. So there goes our Manta. And once again, as you will see, AWACS is up. No dots yet. So far, right? Exactly as I remember it. But as you can see, there's definitely ground units. And so now we've got those 2, and we have our 2 dots. No scan. So far, exactly as expected. Now, it's a 2-shield island, so it shouldn't have anybody preparing to take off. So what I'm going to do next is demonstrate something that I usually do with cruise missiles, which is aim just inside the hangar and let them fly. And that should dumpster everything in that particular hangar. And the next thing is I will typically do just scans like this while trying to find all the units. Now, the downside to this mod and other mods like it so far are that they do not actually tell us, or they don't tell the game to spawn additional units based on island size. That's something that we would really like to see changed, because a big island like this deserves a whole ton of enemies guarding it. Would make things a lot more interesting that way. Now, I normally don't use a Manta for scouting like this. Usually, again, I play with my captain. I call him my captain because he's usually hosting the game, Sandblaze. Okay, there. So that should have cleaned out the hangar, at least of aerial units. Looks like we've still got some ground units sneaking about in there. Unless, is that still aerial? Yeah, I think that's a Razorbill. And that looks like an Albatross. Okay, so I only got the first 2. I definitely used to get all 4, from what I remember, but only getting a couple is still better than nothing. I'm not going to waste another carrier missile on that. I just wanted to try it because I haven't done it in a while. We usually don't bother these days. It's a lot easier to just let them launch and fire an anti-air missile at them, honestly. So let's check in on the ground units, because these things usually take absolutely forever to do anything. This is why I don't use them. So we have everything out there. Now the thing is, guns, right, will not scan targets. They'll only mark new targets. And I think I might have been an idiot and just scanned everything on the island immediately. Anyway, just out of habit, because I'm sitting here talking and I'm not used to recording anymore, so I'm not thinking properly. There's got to be somebody else, right? There's no way that was everything on the island. And if you're wondering why I'm not launching a flare... Oh, wait. Okay, there's a turret there. So now we want to get where that is. There we go. So for the other player that was mentioning the... I don't want to actually scan it. Okay. So for the other player that was mentioning scan radius of AWACS, this is actually your field of view. So the further you zoom in, the tighter that becomes. That's indicating how narrow your perspective is because of your zoom level. Okay, so right now it's right about there. So that's where we want to send our ground units. We should have a turret. Yep. So the turret should be right there. We do not have that scanned, right? So we're going to make sure that the Manta doesn't scan that target by setting the camera back to automatic so that it resets. There. Now there's no risk of that scanning. So now I'm going to specifically send the Walrus out there with the 40mm gun to go check that out. We'll leave the bears here for now. Now, if I'm correct, Walrus should, number one, be able to find his way there on his own, and number two, be able to indicate to us that there is a turret there simply by aiming the gun. And so, until then, since we have some time together, hello! I'm going to make a follow-up video to this that is actually just going to be like a video essay form of my carrier command guide, and then I'll try and figure out YouTube's new like chapter system so that people could just kind of click around the video and see visual tutorials for this stuff, which I think would be very helpful. And, you know, of course, I'm going to have to label it that it is specifically for this version that is now 1.3 point something for hotfixes. But this is just after the dedicated server update 1.3, just for transparency's sake. And again, I'm using it to test a mod. That there's our friend. No UI mod, so no indication that that's our friend. But I do also have my controls slightly rebound. If any of you play on controller and you see that I'm clicking in the left stick, that would be because I would like to be able to talk to people, so my push to talk is my back button, or select button, you know, whatever, depending on how old you are. So I'm used to doing this for the map now. I've been trying to join as many servers as possible, not public servers, but as many games as possible for anybody who joins the server and really wants some help. I should probably save, actually, because I'm getting a bad feeling that I'm actually not recording and I'm being an idiot right now. So let's do that. And yeah, I'd be willing to commit to that. Okay. So just in case, because I'm pretty sure I'm recording, but just in case I'm not. And if I tab out, it's probably going to crash, so bear with me. Here we go. Nope, I am recording, and the game did not crash. Sick. I'll probably have to edit that out. Nah, doesn't matter. Who cares? Make sure that's set to manual, because I don't want the gun to open fire just yet. So something I will point out, actually, is that, I could have swore there was a lock feature even on something like this. Something I do want to point out is that the ground vehicles have this rangefinder feature that air units don't have. Okay, so we can see our friend here, and it's a seal, pretty sure. So we're just going to gun that thing down. Oh, but something else was shooting at us, and there shouldn't be anything else over here. I have everything scanned. What's happening? Oh, look at that. Gun scanned, ID'd that there is in fact a target, not what the target might be. So now we're going to damage it a little bit, and then we're going to back off. And in hindsight, probably shouldn't have damaged it as much as I did. Okay, so we want to get back sort of into cover a little bit and order our friend here off. Well, it's dead, which is what I was trying to avoid. But you saw it had the scan. If I'd come back out here, you would have seen the little red circle. There you go. This is what happens when you don't rehearse. We have a friend taking off, and I believe we have a Manta with TV missiles, so let's just go ahead and handle that real quick. I could have swore at some point TV missiles actually had a throttle. I don't usually like using TV missiles personally. And I could have swore that you controlled them a bit differently, but again, I never used them. Oh yeah, no, I was right with the bank turn. Yeah, I could have swore they had throttle indicators and everything, but I guess not. And if I remember correctly, the range should be 5,000 meters, so I guess we'll see if I even make it. I should. But we'll kill this thing, and then... There we go. Go ahead and call the Manta back. So, we have made our points. Actually, do we need to call the Manta back? No, it's at 65% fuel. Okay, so I will save here, and I will prepare to do the other video. But that should settle all those debates. So there we go. Now bear with me again. I have to tab back out. Actually, can I just use my hotkey?